And here we are. Yes, live. Hello. Thank you so much. Ah, this is always so much fun. Let me know, is everything working? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Just to make sure. And then I'll just get right into it. Just checking other social media, Instagram right now. I've actually made an effort on this setup. Can you believe it? Well, this album was already here, but just like this corner of the house. Oops, that's me. So it seems to be working. This is going off. So starting off with a warm drink, warm beverage, or any beverage really. Pouring myself some Earl Grey tea right here. So I hope you do the same, just for the coziness or to stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, people. Hey, Kelly Bear, you're the first one to say something. Hello, Kelly Bear, how are you doing? I've been watching a lot of your lives, your daily lives. So cool that you started doing that again. And yeah, it's just always a lot of fun, right? To be there in the moment. Now I've missed most of them, but I've rewatched. So, I really like that. Resting up. Yeah. I just made my cup of tea to sit and watch this. Great. I'm so happy that you're here. Melanie Jane. Hi, Anna. Hi, Kelly. Yes. Hi, Melanie. My impromptu waffles. Thank you for watching. Yeah, well, thanks for watching here too. There are 6 people in the chat, so it's okay if you want to participate or just listen, but just come and say hi so I know who's watching. I always like to do that. And cheers. Okay, so don't be shy. Say hi. That's a rhyme. That's fun. Yeah. Okay, so it's typical Dutch weather again, of course, because I always like to start saying something about the weather in the live streams, right? That's such a Dutch thing that I want to keep in here. It's shiny. It's shiny one moment. It's sunny one moment, and then the next it's like really dark, almost nighttime. So that's just the way the clouds go in front of the sun. Yes, and the sun is very, faint in this country, but I have some lights on, so I hope it'll be fine. Sarah is saying hi. Thank you for saying hi, Sarah. I'm still hoping to get one of your gorgeous pouches, Kelly. Yes, Kelly, they are looking really cool, and all of those color matchups. I don't know. It's looking really cool. Yes. And Angela is saying hi from Germany. Hello, Angela. Cool. So, this is going to be the hashtag Formative Decks. I wanted to do it in a video, but then I figured, it's been a while since I did a live, right? And to be honest, I've been feeling a little not so great lately. Been going on for a while, and I know that tarot and overall spirituality, of course, this type of work and also connecting with you online in this community always makes me feel a lot better, like I do something productive, on a day where I film. And usually I get so excited from what I've just filmed that I immediately have to edit the same day. And so, that whole thing makes me feel creative and productive, as I said, as in, we still have a purpose. So that's an important thing as a human being on this planet, so really trying to keep this up. And so I figured, you know what, I'm just going to relax and take it easy and do a live and connect to some of you again. So, and oh, hi, Anna from Portugal. Great. Welcome here. And yeah, I'm going to, hopefully have a chill, cool time here with you. Thanks for being here. And yeah, let's get into the tag. So this tag is made by Kasha from Tarot Map and Patrick from The Living Wheel. And it's the hashtag Formative Decks. So I really like this hashtag, right? Because at first when I saw it, I thought, I already did my own hashtag main decks and mood decks, which is really similar. But actually, it's not really that similar. It's actually quite different. Like the question that's being asked is different. It's like the entire story, from the beginning up till now. The decks that have changed the way that you read the tarot, which is really something that happens due to some decks and some systems and something that just changes your mind about something or your opinion about something or your interest, and then you go into this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole and this whole, study of the tarot in general, with all of those different associations that you can put in there, it really changes your path. So yeah, actually quite different, and so I'm really excited to do that. Oh, hello. Hey, Lady Alchemilla. We are both ladies, Astral Lady Tarot and then Lady Alchemilla. And Lazy Genius Tarot and Bazaar, 4 a.m. in Las Vegas. Well, that's the city where the lights never go out. So I'm so happy that you are here. Rabbit holes, I'm always getting lost down them, metaphorically speaking, obviously. I'm not some kind of weird bunny chaser. Oh, Kelly, you're so funny. Hmm. Okay, so as you may know, I like to keep my tarot collection relatively small. So I believe you have seen these decks previously, although it's been a while for some of them on my channel. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, that you might actually still be surprised about my picks, because I was kind of surprised. That's fun. Like, we get to know each other a little bit better through these types of videos, types of tags. But also, it's a self-discovery thing at the same time. Like, oh yeah, that deck that really changed, the way that I approach the cards or certain archetypes, and then the tarot. I'm excited to see which ones will be your picks. So, okay, starting at the beginning, right? And this is so fun, and of course, not a big surprise, but it's so fun from pretty much all of the videos that I have seen. The Rider-Waite-Smith, any type of Rider-Waite-Smith, is the first tarot deck that people show in this tag. So I am no different. It's hello, what's happening to the Zoom? Oh, okay. So I am showing you my Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith. This was not my first tarot deck, but I love this version, and you all probably know how much I've bonded with this particular deck. Now, the Rider-Waite-Smith, for the longest time, was the tarot for me, as in I didn't know any different, right? And started off with the yellow box Rider-Waite-Smith, because that's the only thing that was available in the Netherlands. I mean, readily available. This was before the internet buying thing was a regular thing. I think I was around 15, but it's very blurry. I don't remember exactly. And that particular edition I didn't love because the yellows were too bright, and the blues and the reds, and it was all a little bit blotchy. So I was over the moon when this edition came out, because it was everything that I wanted a tarot deck to be and to look like, right? So the tarot for me was the Rider-Waite-Smith. So it had to be the Rider-Waite-Smith, and especially Pixie's artwork. I I know maybe some people aren't, in love with it, but I am. And also her Pixie's font. I mean, the whole thing, probably I scratched off the copyright. That was the only thing about this deck that I didn't love. And I got rid of it. And now it's freaking perfect. So, that was the first one, the first system. And yeah, my very first copy I sold to a guy who took that deck to India. So, even though I don't have my very first copy anymore, which maybe now later in life, looking back, I'm thinking, could have been, something that I keep, but I think I'm just getting a little bit too nostalgic now with this whole plague that we're all going through. So, Um, Isigl is saying hello from Germany. Hello, welcome. seeing you talk about this version has really made me fall back in love with my copy. Yes, Kelly Bear. For me, this is the best Rider-Waite-Smith um, deck is made. So it's okay if you don't agree. You know, it's okay if you like borderless. It's okay if you prefer brighter colors or softer colors or anything. But for me, this is like, the one. And Kelly Bear, yeah, you were mainly a dirty Pam for a while there. I get it with those colors, but for me, it was just. I believe this was a Pam A um, version, right? And I don't know why, but that's like really the one that because I look at all these details. I look at the angel with the closed eyes. I like to see the sun with the oh shit line, and I love to see that particular face of the sun. I think in the Pam B it's a different face. So all of these weird, and also even the fool's face looks a little bit squished in the Pam B. Now this is all nitpicking and like who cares, but I don't know. It's like the perfect deck. Yeah. Regarding Rider-Waite-Smith system. Lady Camila, I'm in love with it too. One of only two Rider-Waite-Smiths I own. Yes. What is the other version you own? I would love a vintage Albano Waite. Yes, me too. And I've had two Albano Waites. One of them vintage, but they did not exceed not exceed my expectations. They just didn't live up to my expectations, to be honest. Uh-huh. The Golden Rider, yeah, I have the Golden Rider as well in French edition, and I kind of like her deck, and I like those colors. But can't go wrong with this classic looking thing. So this was my first tarot deck. I mean, like this system, and I was a Rider-Waite-Smith reader for a long, long time, way before I started, of course, doing this online thing and reading for other people, starting with friends and family and reading, then later on starting up a little business, reading for clients, which I do now. When I started reading for clients, I was definitely using the Centennial Rider-Waite-Smith. But later on realizing that it lacks diversity, even though this is still my favorite card, like probably ever. It does lack diversity. I still use it, in online readings, but then I kind of switched to another deck as my main deck for clients, even though nowadays not doing face-to-face readings anymore. Sorry about that, it's a little cold. Not doing face-to-face readings anymore. I like to switch it up, doing online readings. I also do that in some Patreon tiers. So yeah, I really like that people have this, they get a reading every month, and then I can kind of like switch it up with my decks. So getting a very different type of reading style than, Rider-Waite-Smith only. But I have to say, already quite in the beginning, I don't know how I got how I came across this information, but I wasn't really tied to the particular Rider-Waite-Smith meanings of the cards. I got into numerology fairly early on in the game, and I feel that really made the transition to other systems really easier, because I was already trying to combine. I say I was a Rider-Waite-Smith reader, and yeah, I guess I was. But then when I really started to get back into tarot and really study it daily and more seriously, more in depth, that is when yeah, I really got into that numerology thing and started combining systems, and then was no longer a typical Rider-Waite-Smith reader. You know what I mean? I was like a tarot reader, so that can be pretty much anything. So let's see what the comments say. Yes, Lady Jacobina is saying, Golden Rider, gotta love the pinks. Those are beautiful in that deck. And the crazy eyeshadow, especially in the Empress, right? She has so much makeup, but it's pretty much iconic, right? Trent is saying, morning from the USA. Hello, what time is it where you are? Good morning. You must be early. Um, hope you find one. It's getting harder these days. Yeah, I mean, the more that we talk about, the more that we talk about these wonderful vintage decks, the higher the price goes, and the more people like to get them. And so, um, yeah, I've pretty much given up, to be honest. Oh well, you never know. Um, yeah, I hope that sometimes it happens in a trade. Does that still happen, tarot trades? I feel like that's less popular to do nowadays. Oh, yeah, the hoi polloi. Um, Brand's version is looking really well done, but I I think like the Golden Rider would still be between those two, right? The hoi polloi and the Golden Rider. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like I have quite a lot of Rider-Waite-Smith decks and Rider-Waite-Smith clones, in my collection. So still fairly more of those than the other system or other types of decks. 7:16 a.m. time here. It is 1 p.m. 16, quarter past 1, or 20 past 1. Oh, hello, Masha. Yes, I actually just before this video watched your video for the hashtag formative decks, and it was lovely. So I'm happy to catch live, says Masha. Yes, love Brand's pink hoi polloi. Yeah. Quality over quantity. I'm slowly culling my collection too. It's funny, right, Kelly Bear, that we kind of align on uh, on these things where first getting the decks, then getting rid of some decks, then like zooming into some decks, and then changing some systems as well. So interesting. Oh my gosh, Nina, thank you so much for being here. I really need this without complaining. So yes, welcome. I'm so happy. I just finished one deck. So the first one is the Rider-Waite-Smith, in particular the Centennial, which is also, the deck that I started my channel with. Still talking about in the tarot, and then meaning only the Rider-Waite-Smith in my mind. I think we all kind of went through that. So putting it back in my lovely wooden box. Now, the second deck is also Rider-Waite-Smith based. And this deck, I don't really know how to say it. I love it. I loved it because it was vintage. One of my first vintage decks. Maybe my first one. No, because I traded a vintage deck for it. So one of my first vintage decks. When I started, getting more decks, thinking, okay, well, I'm ready for more decks now. And I also got the book with it. It's the Mythic Tarot, and this book is still to this day the best Rider-Waite-Smith based book that I have ever read. So I loved it, and it was formative for me because of the Greek myths that are depicted in this deck and explained in this deck. So it was formative because it was, to be honest, it was formative. One reason is because that is where I started collecting, where I started getting more decks, getting into more decks, and then also it's based on a storyline, or actually different, several storylines, and that is something that I hadn't, experienced yet. So really excited about that. Now it's been a while since I picked this one up, but I just love this artwork as well because it looks it's just so soothing. Okay, it's just not particularly a style that I love, but it just reminds me so much, and I say this every time I take this, I show you this deck. It reminds me so much of this older style children's illustrations, children's books illustrations, children's books, right? Illustrations in those. Finally, we're gonna get there. So, and I love that, and I also love that it just sparked this whole energy and motivation to study more. And I loved it because so many reasons why I love this deck. Because it's so how do I say that? Maybe it was even maybe it's a little bit blurry now. Maybe it was at least one of the first decks that made me want to study something that was outside of the tarot and could be connected to it, right? So my first thing will always be tarot and then numerology, making those two the same things. And now I know also there are several numerology systems as well. So, branching out into that as well. But then, of course, there was a lot of alchemy and astrology and all of that. Still, learning all of that because, yeah, everyone has their own style, right? But this made me want to study, of course, these Greek myths. And yeah, I really, really love that about this one. So let's check the comments. People are saying, hi. Yes, the Centennial, the first tarot I ever held in my hands, very special to me. Oh my God, me too. Um, no way. Kelly Bear saying, I did manage to resist Brand's deck, but my husband saw me mooning over it and sneakily backed the campaign on my behalf. Wow, that's so sweet. Uh, Hi, Dee Dee, welcome. Thanks for being here. Hello, Lola. That book is excellent. I lent mine to a friend years ago. I never got it back. You're kidding me. You have to get it back. Oh, it's really good. Is it this? I never got this answer. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. Is it the same as when they remade this deck? Is it the same text in the book? Because I must say, it's a little bit fragile. It's just like the spine cracks. Wait. I don't know if you can hear that. And it's just, I mean, I really like this type of paper. It's a little bit yellow, but it's just, love this book. And I will, reference it and reread it probably. So if it's the same, get it, because it's still the best Rider-Waite-Smith book. I know. Remember in the late 90s, a deck chat is gone, offered me their copy of this deck, but it wasn't my thing. I was using Osho Zen. Kind of regret turning it down now. That is so annoying. I hate it when that happens. Yeah. Is there a reprint? Exactly, like the reprint of the book. There's a Mythic Tarot. Yeah, I also have the Mythic Tarot workbook, but it's also an older one. So I must say I'm a little bit less fan of the workbook. It's just this book is just so well written, and I love that you can read it as I read it as a novel, and then at the same time learning tarot. So that was just like perfect. Masha is saying, how wonderful, actually mentioned in one of my lives. I was, okay, not talking about the Brand's deck. Yeah, I understand. Nina from Shuffle Tarot had this deck but couldn't connect with it for some reason. It's beautiful though. Yeah, it's definitely not my go-to either. But I like the artwork, and so many good readers that I you know appreciate, or what's the word, have started with this deck, that might also be a little thing, you know. Check it out. Yeah, I just liked it. Mythic Tarot is one of my favorite story decks, yeah. But then again, I'm a tad bit obsessed with Greek mythology. Yeah, me too. There is some ancestry also. We're probably partly from there, you know, being Corsican and all. But maybe that's just our family. I don't know. Oh yeah, I know. There's been a talk of this. This is the 1986 version of the deck with this artwork, hand-drawn artwork. There's been talk of this edition being reprinted for a while, but it seems to have gone quiet. Exactly. That was already like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, right? And then there was this buzz about it, but then it never happened. So it might never happen. Yeah. Hey, Gigi. This is live. It is live. And you can comment and ask questions and interact with one another. So it's extra fun, right? People saying hi. I heard that it's English. Sometimes it's just not there. Melanie, I heard it is the same text. Well, that's great. So you can still get it, right? You don't have to spend a lot of money or wait a long while to get the Mythic Tarot book. Nina saying, I probably would have connected more with the tarot if it was based on Norse mythology. Yeah, that's a whole other, side. So Ellen is saying, hi, everyone. Hi, Ellen. Thanks so much for being here. All right. So this was my second formative deck, even though, that's why it's a different tag from the main and mood decks. I don't consider this a mood deck, but I also don't consider it the main deck because I don't work with it as much as it probably deserves to. But yeah, there's a video coming up also about tarot overwhelm and how to not experience that, how to avoid it, how to avoid tarot overwhelm, or at least, yeah, the things that I do to avoid it. So I love this deck. I maybe even love the book more. But yeah, formative deck number 2, that was. Where did I leave the other one? Here. Let's pour in some more hot tea. I love Norse mythology too, but I haven't come across the Norse tarots I like. But I'm so excited about my Fennica to arrive. I have seen the Fennica tarot, wow, or Mythologica Fennica, I think. It looks really complex, and that is a good thing. Yeah, Kelly Bear, I think I got that term from you, tarot overwhelm, but we can all relate, I'm sure. Shuffle Tarot, I'm waiting for the Runic Tarot to come out. What was deck 1? Hey, Ellen, can you guess? I'll wait. Linda of Red Seeds Oracle is currently making a Greek tarot based on the Eleusinian mysteries. Cool. Yeah, okay. Kelly Bear already said it. Yeah, it was a Centennial Rider-Waite Smith, obviously, darling. I know, but would you have guessed, Ellen? I think you would have guessed. Formative deck, slow typer. Oops, sorry. Yeah, Kelly, you ruined my game here. No, kidding. Deck number 3. Yeah. Deck number 3 comes before one of my main decks because I got it before that other deck. So I ruined the game. What are you saying? Demeter and Persephone, Anna? Yeah? As in the Empress and the High Priestess in the Mythic Tarot? Oh. Oh, okay, that's what the blah blah mysteries means. Cool. And this was a surprise, but it's so true still. And this remains on my tarot shelf. Whenever I feel like it, it's not really a go-to. It's just, well, maybe it is, but a little bit, slower. So this is the Wildwood tarot deck, and it's a deck that's not the artwork I particularly love. It's not the best quality deck either, but it's just so this whole energy that this deck has and the mood that it gives me and just this whole the way that the light is being used in this artwork. Just look how epic this hair looks. It's the Queen of Bows at night and this heron. And it's a formative deck because I was looking for a nature-based deck, because all I really knew was the Rider-Waite-Smith at this point. And it was the first, maybe it was the first. It's so blurry about these things. Maybe it was the first deck that was not Rider-Waite-Smith based and had this whole other system. Now it's weird because I appreciate that this is based on the Wheel of the Year, and I have the book over there in my bookcase, so I'll just leave it there. I read that book also from front to back twice already, maybe 3 times, highlighting different things, I really liked it. It's based on the Wheel of the Year, which I appreciate because I've, ever since I was a young teenager, started working with these really pagan ideas of, the 8-spoke Wheel of the Year. Uh, and But still, like the majors, they are placed in a different order in that Wheel of the Year, yet they are still numbered in the traditional tarot um, sequence. So, using this deck without the book, look at this card, one of my favorites. It's very like, the devil. What's the devil again? Oh, it's not Carnunos. That's in the Druidcraft. But, this is very Carnunos imagery. What was I saying? Yeah, so without the book, you can still read it pretty much like a regular tarot deck. Let me find a major for you. It's a little bit of a hug deck because, like this, for instance, the 5 of what is this? Bowls or whatever? Vessels. Okay, so it's supposed to be 5 of Cups, and then there are keywords. Everything is wrong with this deck, but still, like it's pretty cool. It's just a deck that I can place myself into in a way that was unexpected, right? So I love that she is dancing at night in this like pentagram with these glowing vessels and the starry sky, and she looks very free and happy and doing her thing and doing a magical something, right? But it looks so good, whereas 5 of Cups, all of the fives really are about some form of struggle. So I think the book says something about dancing through the struggles kind of thing. So it's a little bit of a hug deck, like death is rebirth or something like that. The devil is what's the devil? It's that bear, it's transformation kind of thing. So yeah, it's different. Now, this card is specifically transformative. So it's the 5 of the majors. It's the ancestor, and it's a very different image, very different title, very different also in a way meaning of the Hierophant or the Pope. Yeah. And I really, really loved this because the Hierophant is a card that many people struggle with. Now, the reason I don't struggle with that card mainly is thanks to this, because it just like, if you still struggle with the Hierophant, I suggest you look into this very card, this very archetype, because it's just so um earthy, and so it's about a quest and the ancestor, that says very different things. It's like the master that lives inside of you. And this anyway, I feel, is the esoteric meaning of the Hierophant anyway. But it's I feel I can thank a lot. Uh, um, how does that sentence work? I can thank this deck for that, um, idea. So let's see. Masha is saying, I can guess two of your decks with confidence, Anna. I'm pretty sure you can, but I'm still here doing this tag. But I think this is a surprise, maybe, right? Although this one's, like one of my first videos, top 5 tarot decks, that Kelly Bear made, that tag, or that video that became a tag, and this deck was already in there. But now I'm kind of like explaining, the main reason why it is. And it's just so green, and the Druidcraft, even though I like that deck, has still not been able to top this one, or Pagan Otherworlds. I got rid of that deck. I still prefer this, this one. I even feel like the Greenwood, even if it were to ever come out again, I might give it a go. But I have so bonded with this little guy that maybe this is just it. Maybe this is just it for me. Wildwood, most recently, it has wowed me. Yeah, right. It's really cool. I love the Wildwood, but I really love the Greenwood. Do you have the Greenwood? Epic hair makes me think of metal bands in the 80s. Yeah. Ellen is saying this one is so great. The artwork is gorgeous. Yeah, 2 additional workbooks of the Wildwood. So yeah, Masha, you're going to make a video about that other book of this deck, because I only have the workbook, or the book that goes with the deck, but then there's also that separate one, and I never got it, but I am kind of curious about it. So if you have it, will you make a video about it? Because I'll watch. One of my favorites too. Okay, so it's actually a pretty popular deck, even though, not many people are talking about it anymore. But it's still, always close to my, on my tarot table. The Guardian is what the devil is. So this is a bear skeleton. Interesting, right? Still looks very creepy, but it's not like the devil. Okay. I love that this deck. I love this deck, but it's such its own thing that I find myself grabbing the Druidcraft over it. Yeah, well, that's also one of the reasons why I prefer the Wildwood, actually, and I get why people would prefer the Druidcraft, because it's so Rider-Waite-Smith based, but then very pagan. And this one is not Rider-Waite-Smith. That is why I love it, because I feel like I have been surrounded with Rider-Waite-Smith things, enough, even though I'm not ruling out getting new Rider-Waite-Smith type decks. But, just saying. I find this deck works great for pathworking. Yeah, it really, you can easily place yourself in the card. Masha, I'm beginning to learn shamanism, and the Wildwood is very special for me as of recent. Yeah, I can imagine. Gotta head out. Okay, Lady Alchemilla, thank you so much for being here. You'll be catching up later. Cool. The non-tag that became a tag. Yes, yes. Yeah, okay, so Gigi is saying, I moved the Druidcraft along and kept this one. Well, that was my thing as well. Druidcraft and Wildwood, I both got them, and my first Druidcraft copy I passed along, but then later on regretted it, and um, welcomed it back into my tarot collection. Yeah, it's very subjective how some speak to us and others don't. Life in Amsterdam is very quiet at the moment. Surprise, surprise. Otherwise, it's cool. Okay, that was deck number 3. So, yeah, let's move on to the other one. This is called Morgan's Tarot, but it's an oracle. It's a 78 card oracle, maybe even 88 cards. I keep forgetting. I don't use this one as much either. That doesn't mean I'm less in love with it than when I made the video Morgan's Tarot is giving me golden age thinking or something like that. I freaking love this deck. This was the first deck probably that was a whole different thing from tarot. Now, it's just so minimal. It's maybe even my first completely black and white deck. I already had the Wild Unknown. That's what I was thinking. And this is so absurd, and I so hard fell in love with it. Actually, you know what? Seeing this in the screen, I'm gonna have to put it back on my tarot table because it's so awesome. So many reasons why I like this. It's just surrealist. It has the really cool hippie psychedelic 70s vibes that I like. It's full of humor, but also depth. It's the first deck also, which is really why I chose it, where I made my own little white book to go with the deck, just to make it. I have a recent video about how to make oracle decks work for you, and I talk about that, and also in an older one of my first videos as well, where I show my tarot collection. So this deck, this booklet is a work in progress, but this one of the first reasons was to make the little white book usable, because nothing was in alphabetical order or any type of order that I could make sense of out of, and then leaving room for my own interpretations as well. So I just want to keep this a little bit private, but just to show you, see, like this is alphabetical order, and then there is so much space for me to write down my own findings. So that was a thing, and I'm actually really okay with not having the vintage version of this, because this is really good cardstock, I feel, and I was able to also scratch off the copyright. Not saying you can't do that with a vintage deck, but I would have been a little, should I do this? Whereas now it's just, yeah. So let's see what you think of this. Oh, Candy's here. Candy's broom closet. Oh, maybe your name is not Candy. Sorry. Oops is saying, what's going on? Oh, honey. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, it's very early. Okay, yes, that's what I figured. Good morning. Uh, Ellen, are you saying that you bought the Morgan's Tarot? Or are you talking about another deck? And do you like it? Because I still love it. It's like this whole out there crazy deck, but I love it. I love it so much. And it was formative because I started to become more, still working on it, but started to become more just, I don't know, comfortable with using my intuition, stepping away completely from the tarot system, and also started to see how I work, as in I love making my own little books, as you can see in my own systems, and tweaking a deck and all that in my latest upload. I think that was about the living altar oracle, which I thought of putting in this tag, but it's still too new. Oh, what's this called? This is Morgan's Tarot, and yeah, it's not on the box because I didn't like that ugly, glossy purple box, so I made it like, fit with the deck. So I just coated it in paper, really. And here I put, will it focus? Well, it says Morgan's Tarot 1970 because that's when this deck, I think, first came out, when it did. People saying hi. Oh no, I need that deck so much. I keep putting off buying it because there's always one I want more, but man, every time I see it, I love it. Yeah. Ich spreche keine Deutsch. Nicht gut. That's the worst. Mais je parle français and I speak English and ik spreek Nederlands. Isn't that enough? Damn it. Sorry guys, gotta go. Dinner time. Oh yeah, okay. Well, eet smakelijk. Bye Nina, thanks for being here. Okay. Let's stick to the tag, yeah? Of course, have fun in the chat. In LA, a different Candy. Oh, but your name is Candy. I really like that name. Yeah. Love that you're a dancer. I'm one too. Been meaning to reach out, and here you are. Yes, baby. Well, I am finally starting. It's really, really starting to combine this whole thing, tarot online and spirituality, all that stuff, and magic, with dancing, but over on my Patreon. So it's not on the tiers yet because it's very new, as I said. But yeah, this month will be the first video that I put up where there's a clip. Yeah, it's a little bit, abstract artistic kind of thing, but just trying things out. It's kind of like this spell, but it's really more like a mood thing. So yeah. If you want to know more, I'll just, I don't know, make a post about it or something, because I feel this video is going to be too long otherwise. Morgan's Tarot, use it as an oracle. Yes, I mean, I don't feel it can be used in a different way. In the Little White Book, I think I remember they put the Celtic cross as a spread, but I think that was just that was just like the norm in US games, decks. I do love it if I think to use it because it's so different. It isn't my first grab. Yeah, same here, but still, like, chapter, different chapter opening, starting in my tarot journey. It has personality. It sure has. This is very Amsterdam themed. Well, that's not true. Amsterdam is themed after this plant. So, who is watching the cosmic drama? Huh? Who is? Actually reminds me, that's why I like this deck. That reminds me of the Jim Morrison interview where he predicted, or actually said already at that time, that people were no longer living their own adventures. People were living vicariously through other people's adventures by staring at a screen all day. All right, moving on. This might end up on my wish list. I'm a deck enabler, baby. How can a grizzly bear be cute? Honey, bears are cute. Have you ever seen a baby bear? So cute. Kelly said she's cute and deadly. Well, I think that goes together very well. So, moving on, baby. This was deck number 4. Okay. Deck number 5. Finally. Here she is. Here they are. My best friends. My weirdos. My creeps. My Triomphe de la Luna Paradoxical. Oh my god. So this is my favorite deck. Made many videos about this and I'm still not done. And I'm happy that you still enjoy videos about this deck. because this is just the other half of my soul deck, with the Centennial being so like, as I said in the beginning, the Rider-Waite-Smith is was so much the tarot for the longest time, in my opinion. Like there were no other tarot decks in my reality. So that was how much I was into that deck. And then I saw this one online on Deviant Moon, and I fell in love so hard. At first, I was like, it's a pip deck. It's a Marseille deck. It's not illustrated pips. It's not, scenic pips, obviously, we were trying to say. But I looked at it and I thought, wow, like, I don't know how to read this, but I really, really love the way it looks. And of course, all of the cards with creatures or little demon friends depicted on there were all so cool, and just the whole idea of black background cards, and it glows under black light. I actually got a black light to do like that seance thing with this deck, and I was like, okay, have to get it. I fell in love so hard, and this is the reason why this deck, this very deck, is the reason why I read Marseille. How I got into pip decks, how I got into this more abstract sigil looking system, how I got into Marseille decks. And so it wasn't like I'm half French, okay? It wasn't like I was going back to my roots or something, getting into that Marseille system because of that. It was really this deck. I fell in love and I just had to learn how to read these cards. And so I did. And that was just the beginning of the whole other Anna as a tarot reader. So let's see what you think. Uh, it even goes well with your outfit and nails. Ah, that- joking in the comment section. Gotta go. My friend has arrived. See you all later. I'll see you later. Thank you so much for being here, Didi. So many of us had this response to Marseille pip decks, and now look at all of us reading and collecting them. Exactly, Calibert. That you remind me that I wanted to say this. Like there was this whole trend of starting to read Marseille, you know, in the tarot community. For the longest time, we were all Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is a Rider, like as there's just like me, like not even uh, not even giving the information that it was a Rider-Waite-Smith deck that we were unboxing. This was just a deck because the Rider-Waite-Smith was the tarot, right? And then probably the Wild Unknown came along and swept us all off our feet. And I wasn't immediately in love with it, which is why it's not a formative deck for me, but still pretty cool one. Have a video about re-falling in love with that deck because it's really kind of cool what it did. And then I think, that this was the order of the way that things happened. And then all of a sudden we got into Marseille as a collective. And now I feel the same thing is happening with Toth, because honestly, Simon from Hermit's Cave unboxed the Toth and didn't hate it. And now look at you, Cuddly Bear, getting into the Toth system as well. And me, of course, switching my deck for clients to the Toth. Ah, Tailraven Tarot, hello! I just got a copy of the Paradoxical Blue version of this one. It's so great. Ah, yes, I know. It's beautiful. Honey from Fierce and Pretty. I have never seen a physical copy of the Triomphe deck. Maybe I should get one someday. Have the Deviant Moon, but it's so different. Yes, it's very different. And I feel like the Deviant Moon, is what made Patrick Valenza, very loved in the tarot community, because he made this really cool, challenging deck. Uh, Mostly, I feel right away Smith based still. So that was, our like gateway to his stuff. Okay, hi Emily, watching back from the start. Well, I'm saying hi to you now, so thank you so much for being here. People saying hi. Oops, what's happening to the chat? Honey, where are you? Um, I have been eyeing paradoxical blue for so long, but now that the purple is back as well, I'm like, if I, you know that, right? If I were to get another version of the paradoxical, maybe now I would go for the purple. But then I don't, because I don't want to get too big of a tarot collection, and I feel like I already have the best one here. But still, it's hella tempting, right? So, very cool deck. Still wish I'd bought a Paradoxical Rose version. Maybe they come back, I have the OG version though, and I love it. Yeah, right, before the Paradoxical, so like the one that looks like parchment paper. Um, it's a beautiful deck for sure. Dark Marseille, love it and want it. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, I know, right, Kelly Bear? It's so weird that how this happens. Victoria, hi Victoria. I know this is about tarot, but shout out to Purple Rain in the background. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about this thing called life. I love it when he said that. We are gathered here today to talk about this thing called life. Awesome. Yeah. I love Prince. It's funny. My boyfriend is a musician, and hard word to say. And he, we share a lot of the same, actually most of the same music tastes. But he's not really a fan of Prince, and I mean that's fine. But it's I don't know. It's just always this thing that I figure out that I think about when I want to listen to Prince. It's like, ooh, this is so good. And yes, it's a little bit poppy, but it's just so well made. And then I think, he still didn't get into it, and that's fine. It's just maybe it's just too there. I don't know. But yeah, so like that album. Le Terrain Noir. But on top of that, I only have one other Marseille. Yeah, exactly. So this is a Marseille deck, even though, the purists would say the Page of Cups has never looked this way in traditional Marseille, so this is not a Marseille. The Wheel of Fortune is missing all of these details that the typical traditional historical tarot decks with the Marseille systems clearly show, and all of the colors are different, so it's not a Marseille. The Arcanum 13 looks different, and even the pips, even though they are in this Marseille formation, they are not Marseille enough. But still, I know this is an untraditional Marseille, but still for me it's a Marseille. So it did get me into that system, and I'm just gonna put it away now, because otherwise this whole video is gonna be about this deck. But really, as I said, that's this deck is the reason why I got into Marseille, and I'm always showing this book. It's just because this was the best Marseille book that I got into, and yeah, like highlighted. You can't see it, but highlighted a lot. And it was formative. This whole got into this whole different chapter in my tarot path, because this book, and I had the deck with it, this book told me that the art of tarot is the art of seeing. And I totally agree, because every single detail has meaning, or, can have meaning, and can mean something to you. And whether you are focusing on this little squiggly line, um, whether that squiggly line means something was made deliberately and has this deep esoteric meaning or not, and you are just, imagining things, it doesn't matter because tarot is this living, breathing thing that we can always, well, I wouldn't say change, but it evolves, right? And it is still personal. So I really love that whole idea. And yeah, I was kind of already doing that with the Rider-Waite-Smith, have to be honest, but still, like seeing that in a book and just so, yeah, making sense of that abstract artwork. It really, really helped and changed the game. So definitely formative deck. Now, I have found out that traditional Tarot de Marseille, I think I would still like to have a traditional Tarot de Marseille, but I still haven't found one that I just really, really love the artwork of. So sticking to my Triomphe Paradoxical. Just catching up with the chat. Only one-ish, maybe two decks to go. So yeah. I'm intimidated to step outside Rider-Waite-Smith. As of yet, we'll see down the road. Yeah, I mean, me too for the longest time. But then now it's just, for me, it's not changing. It's not like when I pick up this deck, I read this way. I mean, sure, of course, it dictates the way that you read. Oh, that actually worked out well. But but still, for me, it's like adding, making one system and just making it bigger. Yeah. Yeah, it's the tough year for all of us. I mean, honestly, 2020 was my tough year, but there's just so much in that deck. It's my next deck. Spoiler. That yeah, it's nice. It's nice that there are so many layers, so much to find out. There is, so of course, the typical tarot numerology, and then also the Kabbalistic whole thing, tree of life. Astrology, did I say that? Alchemy, so many different things, of course, hermeticism in general, and then the whole golden dawn idea, Crowley's own ideas. So much. I don't get to hate for the Thoth. I love it. I love it too. Enjoy the journey, right? It can be overwhelming, absolutely. I started reading Thoth for myself when I only knew Rider-Waite-Smith and Marseille meanings. So I started, what do these, let me just get it, because this is, of course, my next formative deck. What do these images tell? And reading Book of Thoth, oh, I should have gotten it because that is also just one of my favorite tarot books. It's completely crazy. It's madness, which was, Crowley's style. But I just loved it. And, I know that I was so not ready for this when I got serious about tarot. Yeah, I was not ready for this approach also when I was way into Rider-Waite-Smith. Starting with that Marseille, I'd already broadened my perspective, and especially having that, a little bit creepy, dark looking deck. It kind of made me more comfortable with who I am really. And then getting into this deck, it's just definitely one of my main decks. I read for clients with this now, even though, the astrology or decans part isn't all there yet, but I'm okay with slowly getting into it. It's just adding onto that whole system that you have as a reader, and it's your own personal style anyway. Honestly, understanding Golden Dawn symbolism and esoteric knowledge is and information, is already helping you I think a big step of the way, big chunk of the way. Just look at how freaking beautiful this is. Nuit. Knew it. Yeah, or not. Newt. So I have a feeling I forgot to finish a sentence there, but we're just gonna keep going. You know how that chat keeps jumping, so trying to keep up. Victoria saying, Anna, do you ever blend readings with the Marseille and Thoth? Do you mean like the meanings? Because yes, but two decks, I haven't done that. Fierce and Pretty is saying, Anna, were you talking about the paradoxical rose color just now? Because seems like there is that on Mution deck on the site. I don't know that. No, honestly, rose, paradoxical rose version is the one colorway that does not tempt me. And honestly, I am making my peace with the color pink. Okay. All the colors because I've been so the color black for so long. I feel comfortable with wearing more than one color at the same time. And yeah, using color also in the craft and all of that. So that's a thing. That's a personal journey that's been going on. But still, like Paradoxical Rose, mm, I mean, it's still beautiful because it's still my favorite deck, right? It's still the Triomphe de la Luna. But, hmm. And I know people love their Paradoxical Rose, okay? Yeah. But, if the blue is tempting me, the purple is tempting me. The rose, nah. I adore my traditional old Marseille decks. Yes, Masha, you have such beautiful decks. If my house was on fire, I'd just grab my Jean Noblet and I'd be good. Yeah, well, for me, I would hate to lose this, but I would, if I were to, if I would be able to grab only one deck, I think it would be Triomphe de Luna Paradoxical. My evil twin deck, basically. Is that a greenie? Yes, honey, it is. Ooh, troll! Yay! Hi, troll. Love you. Um, yes, it's a greenie. Actually, this is the same thing. I love the traditional systems, meaning the three big ones for me, like Rider Smith, Marseille, Toth. But the reason why I got into Toth is because I saw a greenie being sold on a Dutch selling site, and it wasn't that crazy expensive. It had the same price tag, you could say, as indie deck, and I just went for it. And it still had the cellophane on it, and so I was the first one ever to touch this deck, and it just blew me away. I love how big the cards are, cardstock, and all that stuff. But whatever. I love the artwork, and it's yeah. Again, this thing where I first get the deck, fall in love with it, and then get into the system. So yeah. Whole new beautiful meaning of going green. Thank you, Kelly. You're so sweet with your hammer. I would love a greenie one of these days. I think it's so. My advice is if you see one that's under $100, I'd say get it. Look, I'm not sure, but from my own experience, they are really, really, you know, increasing the price on greenies, even if they are like missing cards, even if they are horrible condition, even if they are I don't know. But yeah, so I think I was lucky when I got mine at the time that I did, because it wasn't really a thing yet. I think it became a thing after not like I started the greenie movement. There's a greenie movement apparently, but you know what I mean. Like I got a greenie because I kind of, yeah, I don't know. I just loved this colorway, and then saw that it was a greenie. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I feel like the popularity started coming, when I already had it, basically. And I feel like the prices are going really way, way, way up. And yeah, I have a feeling like either wait a couple more years, we'll see if it like loses popularity, because people used to hate this. Okay, people used to not be happy with this whole green hue, because it's not the way it's supposed to be, really. It's really supposed to be much more vibrant, true colors, not with this whole greenwash over it. But the greenwash is what I love, and what so many people love. um, it was a mistake, but now it's like a collector's item. Now I read with it, but yeah. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is I think either wait a few years or get one now that's under $100, because people are like asking like $2,000. Like, it's crazy, crazy. Hey, if you have the money and you want to spend it on a deck, by all means. But I'm just saying, like, that's a little high for just a tarot deck. So that's my advice. Oh yeah, cool. Hi, thanks for being here, by the way. Green 18. Um, yeah, I know, I'm very lucky, and this is like my lucky deck because it's also green. So I feel like it's a, yeah, lucky greenie. Oh, looking at the time. Found one on eBay for a reasonable price, talking about the greenie. Feels so different than mass market Toth. I know, I know. I wouldn't mind getting the muddy Toth, the first edition, but probably not going to happen. Yes, sometimes they're hidden, not listed as a greenie. Exactly. If a person doesn't know what they're selling. So you're to blame for the greenie inflation. I'm sorry. No, I don't think I am. I don't. I'm way too small of a channel to take that. How does that credit? But yeah, I kind of feel like the Toth was coming up more, and then the greenie especially. So yes, Candy, I found mine by typing the year in my search. Oh, so I think this greenie, which is really green, which I prefer to the older one that I also have for clients because I'm a crazy, terrible lady. I have two greenies. But this one is mine. This is 86. Oh, that's not going to help. Just Google it. But I think 86, and the other greenie, which is a slightly more yellow hue, I have them compared also in a video on my channel, is like 79 or something like that. There was one for almost $400 on eBay the other day. Look, like, it's like the greenies are going out, are the asking price for greenies are the same asking price that the first edition muddy ones in like the super gold hard box limited edition kind of super rare thing. I know Honey has one of those, used to go for that amount a few years ago. So it's really like only increasing. A play on color adds such depth of perspective, though. That's a good tip. I hope it is. We are tarot hunters. Yes, baby. So, of course, this is a formative deck. for the whole many different layers that it brings to the tarot. I am not afraid of the whole Crowley thing. I love this artwork. It's gorgeous. And I feel that this deck works really well for, very deep questions, like universe questions. Um, and it never fails to, just deliver. I feel like there's such depth to it. And also, of course, the whole study thing again. It's like never ending. And either way, in the tarot, whatever deck you use, I feel that study is never ending. There's always something to learn again or to discover. But yeah, this deck is definitely like fueling the fire of wanting to study. I think my tea is cold by now, but just gonna pour in a little more and get to the last deck, which I doubt really should be in this tag. I'll think about it for a second. Masha also have an 83 greenie, and now you have 2. Oops. Yeah, oh, what's your name again? Tail Raven Tarot. I watch your videos all the time. You're saying I really want to trim my mass market toth, but haven't done it yet. I have actually, sorry, I keep like plugging my videos or whatever people call it. But I have a video on my channel trimming particularly the Toth deck, the mass market Toth deck. Now, I don't have that deck anymore because the greenie was the magical one for me. Yeah, due to just, like the wheel being round, for instance, instead of an egg shape. But, that's just me being very picky. But that's just because I can, right? Because I have like the greenie and I love it. But Toth is really hard to trim. Just saying. So there are a few tips there. I use a how did that? And I'm French. I'm just gonna say it French. Guillotine, la guillotine cutter. And that works well for me. But so also there's another tip for you. So a few tips in there. Oh my gosh. Kelly Bear, I bought the large Toth to do that once I had the system down, but I'm finding myself enjoying the borders and the large size. It's really surprised me. Yes, I agree. So trimming it down to the imagery alone makes for a very busy deck. And that's cool. But must say I really like also just the borders, but also, they're green, so they're a little bit more pretty in my opinion than the regular gray ones. But also just the information that you get, you get the number, you get the hermetic, you get the Hebrew letter, you get the astrological sign or the planet or the elemental symbol, the sign, and, the title, because they're not keywords, in my opinion. They're titles, esoteric titles from Book T, or actually, the Book of Thoth, because it's not exactly as in Book T. They did change up some things, but there's a lot of information in there as well, and I feel like it's a part of the deck as well. So my reasoning behind trimming the Thoth was to get to the artwork, but honestly, working with the greenie for over a year now, I'm feeling I get so used to all of that information in the border that it's not distracting anymore, is what I'm saying. And it really frames the card beautifully, I feel. And when I need that information, it's just right there. So it's just, yeah, I like it aesthetically, and I also like it because there's a lot of information in there. And it's not like I need it to to have my eye focus on the artwork. It just happens now because, after all, those cards are so beautiful. So, Lady Frida Harris, we're thinking about you. I have one and it's so amazing. Everyone loving the Thoth. I love this because a few years ago, we would not be having this conversation. Ooh, cool tip. Hani has a tip saying I would recommend people to look vintage cloth rather on local websites where people sell old stuff rather than eBay. Honestly, that's where I got my first cloth deck. Yeah, local Dutch selling site. Um, oh yeah, so everyone is loving borders all of a sudden. That was also a controversial opinion of mine. Last year still. Yeah. Ellen is saying, I want big thoughts, but I can only find French editions. That's strange. Isn't there like, I don't know where you live, but Book Depository is always a good site, for all the books and the tarot decks, at least I feel. And when you find the green tuck box, that's the large toth. And usually I think that's in English, no? Okay, but then someone is saying, oh, Corvin. Yeah. Wow, your name is so Raven. Love that. Love that. Masha saying, Ellen, I really like AGM taught Swiss. Few languages, including English. Yes. Google. Exactly. Not keywords, but titles. In the beginning, I also thought they were keywords. I found out that they are not, even though they are often still referred to as keywords. They're titles, baby. They're titles. Oh yeah, last deck. Honorable mention. Let's do it. Yeah, okay, so honey, same here, except not finished, but Dutch. $60, 60 euros. That's also what I paid. Sorry, people. But yeah, you just have to be lucky sometimes and, have to get the deck at the right time kind of thing. And for me, it was like oh my God, a vintage stuff. So yeah, I got it and it turned out to be a beautiful greenie. So Ellen is in The Hague. Oh, Den Haag. Een Hagenaar of een Hagenees? So, yeah, I think I have never seen a vintage cloth being sold on a Dutch selling site, apart from the one that I bought. So I think they are not very, very popular here, or, I don't think they're here. Yeah, we all drool over your decks, honey. Over your cloth decks. Een Hagenaar en een Achterhoeker. Okay, cool. So, last deck. Honorable mention. Do you know what's in here? Because this is a box I made, but it's the Crow's Magic Tarot, baby. So, what's up with this deck? Everything is wrong with it. Everything is wrong with it. As in, big fat copyright twice. These are keywords. Computer art. Like really weird and ugly. But I love it. I love you. I love it. Also, vintage out of print thing. So lucky that I got this last year. And maybe one of the best purchases that I've done last year. For sure. What's up with this deck? Everything is wrong with it. Lol, that's great. Well, yes, like everything is wrong with this deck. And I love it. It's like looking in a mirror. So trashing myself, but what is up with that deck? Some decks are weird and ugly, and yet, yes, I know. Just look at this Wheel of Fortune. I love it so much. So why is this a formative deck? Probably because my entire taste changed. I love this deck. I don't know why. It's beautiful. It's like it fits in my hand. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen and the most perfect deck I own, maybe, at the same time. So, hi, Jen. I'm on, I think, but welcome. It's how I feel about the Tarot Illuminati. Yes, ugly as hell, but it reads so well for me. Damn it. I'm so glad that you got it. was collecting dust on my shelf. Yes, baby, I know. Thank you. So many more videos coming up with this deck. So I'm just so very, very grateful for getting this deck. So thank you. Um, I think the only reason, well, that's not the only reason, but main reason is because it changed my perception of what I like in tarot decks. Because when I started, no way that I would have, fallen in love with this artwork because it's hideous. Sorry, Alonda Marks, but it's hideous. But I hate it. But I love it. I was gonna say I love it. Okay, it's time to like wrap it up. But I also think that this is a pip deck. It's an illustrated pip deck, right? And I feel like that is something that I haven't shown you yet in this tag. Because honestly, I have Rider-Waite-Smith, then Rider-Waite-Smith based story deck. Then I have Marseille. Then I have Morgan's Tarot, which is completely different. Wildwood, which is its own thing, still very much illustrated or scenic. And then Thoth, which is Pip. And now, well, maybe Thoth is illustrated Pip, but not really, though. Not really. It's, you know the difference, right? It's just there's still no scene, like the success card. You know, it's not just 6 coins, but it's not a scene either. So here, with the 2 coins, it's not just 2 coins. It's an abstract scene. Is that what it is? It's so strange. Yes, it is. Wait, let's look up some. Look at this. So it's 8 wands. Then we have that like cloud background, and then the gator. Yeah. Can't stay, but thanks for the chat. All everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here, Victoria. And House of Ash, the pagan, you have it with pips. What do you mean with that? Not sure what you mean. So, I mean, let me flip through this deck a little bit more. And please, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments right here in the live chat, because this is my last deck. So I'm pretty much done. I love this. I love these colors. And I love also, yeah, that's just a thing that's gonna stay, I'm sure. I love dark cards. Like they have this black background. Now I almost bought this deck, the Crow's Magic Tarot, on eBay. But I realized that the person selling had trimmed off the white border, which I get because it doesn't really fit with the deck. Although I must say, you probably all know that I like borders. I feel that actually it works really well because it frames the card, even though probably would have been better black border, for instance. But still, I feel like the whole entire, how do I say that? The image just works. Pagan Otherworlds, House of Ash. I think Anna got rid of that one. Oh, yeah, you mean Pagan Otherworlds. Oh, yeah, that's true, House of Ash. I talked about it actually today. The Pagan Otherworlds Tarot is a pip deck, but I no longer have it because I just wasn't in love with it enough. So even though I did get it, somewhere in between the Mythic Tarot and the Wildwood, yeah, it's true. It's a pip deck, but I no longer have it. So, and it wasn't formative deck either. So even though it's, beautiful, great quality, all that, but it's just not what I was looking for and connected with. Oh my God, you're right. That's probably like the 80s thing, right? Trent is saying the imagery is similar to the Purple Rain image style I just noticed. You mean this deck, right? Because this deck is so 80s, even though it's made in 98. But honestly, like some of the 90s aesthetic still looks quite 80s. Don't you agree? This deck could easily pass for an 80s deck. Although with all of that metallic stuff, still very 90s. It's a bit of both, I don't know. But yeah, I think you've covered the reason Anna likes this deck. I mean, I'm an 80s baby. I'm from 87. So my childhood was the 90s. This one without a border would be too much, I think. Yeah, might be right. So happy to have this, great condition. Oh my God. This is where we need that intro. What was it again? Let me introduce you to this thing called life or something like that. I forget now because there's too much going on. Particularly the first few cards you started with. I don't remember which one those were. Oh, well, how about this one? Well, so, any more questions? Because otherwise, I'll be, saying bye bye. Was trying to do this within an hour, but with all of you here, having such a good time, lifting my spirit, feeling good. But I am getting kind of hungry now because I haven't had a big breakfast and haven't done lunch yet, and it's 2:30. So so let me know. Ellen is saying, thank you for this. Was great to catch this live. Yes, I'm so glad that you were here. All of you, even the ones that, had to leave. Um, so I love doing lives and I want to do them a little more often, more frequently. Yeah, I think that's good. Because, now I have this upload schedule, you could say. I make one video a week. Every Sunday it's up. But I kind of want to keep the surprise, I feel, you know? I want to keep things a little fresh. And even though I feel every video is fun, it's cool. I love it when you comment, I love it when you share what you think of all of that. So it is interactive, but something about the lives that is a little bit more spontaneous, I guess, because I have such a I keep up with that schedule that I've made for myself, like every week one video. But yeah, I kind of like this. I kind of like this is what I'm trying to say, and I appreciate you. So thank you. Great chat. Thanks for sharing, Jen. Great to catch you live finally, Anna. I'm so happy that you made it. You came in late, so I hope you'll be able to rewatch this. Enjoyed the talk. Thank you. Thank you as well. Nice to catch the end. Look forward to rewatching to see the first few decks. Yeah. I mean, it's not a big surprise, but maybe, what I have to say about them, probably. So if there's anything you want to add, leave a comment below, because of course this is, if you rewatch it, let me know what you think of the decks that I chose and, what your decks are and all of that. I really like this tag. So well done, Kasha and Patrick. That was so much fun. Thank you so much, Anna and all. Thank you, Masha. Great way to start the day. Thank you. Well, I'm so glad that you enjoyed this. Glad I could make it to this. Thank you again, Kelly Bear, for being also the moderator. Thank you, Anna, and everyone, says Gigi. So many hearts, so many sparkling hearts. That's fun. I was lurking and listening from the start. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Okay, thank you so much for being here, Jen. Corbin, glad I caught you live. Yes, so cool that you were all here. I'm always late on your lives. Don't worry about it. So I'm gonna do this more often, I think. Yeah. So what I also appreciate? Maybe some suggestions on topics of next lives. So of course, there's always the just winging it type of live, which always works out with you because you're all, amazing at coming up with topics and questions, in the live. But yeah, just if you have any suggestions or ideas, let me know. Okay, so thank you all so much. I don't know what else to say here. Thanks for this beautiful tag. Thank you all for being here. And I will see you all very, very soon. So